There we go. Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily. How you guys doing? We do the show every day, Monday to Friday. Well, not actually anymore, but you know, there is that. But we still do it from time to time because we gotta know what's happening with Bitcoin, altcoins and everything else. Hope you guys are doing well. As you see in the title, 4 days left until the 8th of April. Now there is a whole bunch of doomsday scenarios that are people predicting is gonna happen on the April the 8th. So it is important date, but it's not only we that know the date right now. I think everybody knows the date, and we're gonna check out if there is any probability for a big dump in the charts. That said, Bitcoin is right now holding the support level up here. I mean, I'm always trying to find next level of the support and stuff like that, right? There is also, where is this chart over here? Right now we are holding the support up here on the weekly time frame, as you can see up here. These are major support levels right now: weekly, daily, and the monthly blue box down here all the way on the bottom. Are we gonna have something like 10% drop down to the blue box bottom down here at 58k? It could happen. We're gonna check that out if there is probability for that. Right now Bitcoin is down minus 0.3%, so not even 1% down, but it's still just zigzagging up here. If you look at a 4-hourly time frame, this actually looks quite nice. Oftentimes these kind of patterns tend to break up a little bit up here towards upside, so there is that. So we're gonna check that if that is probability of that. Now, we're not gonna go and look at what people are writing on X or not. If you want to know what people are writing on X, you should watch Ivan Tech, because he does every single day, every morning video on what people are writing on X. I don't think that's that much exciting. Sometimes we will post a thing or two from X, but mostly we just want to know on the charts what is happening on the charts. How's everybody doing in the chat? We stand on the shoulders of the previous, knowing the dates. The beauty, how you doing, man? Sees, how you doing, man? Sup, man? The Great Indian Passport. What kind of name is the Great Indian Passport, man? I don't get it. Good morning, Tiela. Good morning, everybody. Surfing some places warm now. That Snowy Mountain Pass thing was just a shortcut of friends going wrong. Live stream coffee and some surf. Perfect. Pre-halving surfing is the best. Guys, halving is happening very, very fast. Let me have here show you that copy. I'm just gonna copy the image that I've just posted up here. 15 days, 20 hours. It's around 15 days and 19 hours right now, because this is just an image. I posted this like an hour ago. April 20th is the date, the big date that everybody is waiting for. So the Bitcoin halving is happening very, very soon. So we gotta know that as well. Dodge is looking good. I'm a little bit unsure about that. It's been pulling back a lot. Right now it's only up 1.2%, but it's been pulling back a lot. It's still going inside this channel up here towards upside. So we're gonna see if they can actually break this channel towards upside eventually. So there is that. Good morning, XR Pillage. How you doing? Eric is in the chat. Good morning. Morning Summit. How you doing, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I am doing well because finally I got a good night's sleep. I haven't slept well for like weeks. I'm telling you, and you can definitely notice that on my channel. If I sleep well, there will be videos, there will be dailies, there will be live streams, there will be posting on Telegram, on Twitter. If I sleep well, I'm really into the YouTube stuff, right? And the TA stuff. On the other hand, when I get these periods when I actually don't sleep well, when I'm awake at nights and sleep during the days, everything goes south. So there is that. But right now I did sleep well, so I hope everybody slept well as well. Now, what is happening with Bitcoin up here? Is this gonna break towards downside? As you can see up here on the little bit small time frames, we had this dump towards downside. Over here there was very good indications that this is gonna bottom out down here at the bottom. It did bottom out up here. I mean, technically it's still bottoming out, but the fact that we are not doing this move up here and we are just doing this move over here, it's kind of getting me a little bit a little bit anxious. On the daily time frame, the best kind of line that I could right now find is something like this over here. Right now we are holding support, the 50 moving average on the daily time frame over here. This might be some kind of channel up here. Let me draw this channel up here, give or take. It doesn't look that fancy, but that's what we get right now. So we are right now technically speaking on the support level. You also see these levels over here that are very, very important. We drew these levels a while ago, and right now we are holding this weekly support level down here at 65k. Now, can we go down 63, 62, maybe even 61 to 58k levels towards downside? There is very good actually probability for that. Just remember the thing that we talked about before, the blue box, not this blue box over here, but this big blue box over here. That's the liquidity zone, the way we look at it. And if we go for whatever reason inside that zone over here, that should probably be some kind of bottom, because the liquidity, you know, people get a whole bunch of Bitcoin down here in this liquidity zone. Now the reason this is a liquidity zone is because there is almost no trading inside this box, inside this move up here towards upside. We just shot above that, so most people that, you know, FOMO'd in or put the long position, they start putting long position over here towards upside, you know. And right now, if you do go down here on the downside over here, below these wicks over here, maybe even below this wick down here, below 60, 59k, 58k towards downside, a lot of people are putting their stop losses below these levels, right? So there is a whole bunch of stop losses down here. They are doing the long leverage long positions up here, and they are calculating that, you know, their liquidation zones are somewhere over here, right? So this liquidity box is very, very important. Also, if you start going towards downside because of a lot of liquidations and stop losses and big dumps, people, you know, weak hands, paper hands, start selling. So there is a whole bunch of you know, this area down here below 58k, I would say, you know, it is very, very important, because if you go into that area over here, there is going to be a whole bunch of buying, and you know, we are looking for the moon after that. Now the big question is, are we gonna just moon from over here, or, you know, we're gonna go more towards downside? Now, as you see in the title, April the 8th is the big date, and I'm not joking when I say that, because literally every, you know, astronome I've seen, you know, I've seen these astrology guys on X, you know, posting about the date, but I also seen these astronomy guys posting about the date as well, right? So the guys that are not actually believing in astronomy, but, you know, looking at astrology, sorry, guys that are not actually believing in astrology, but are looking at astronomy, like science, you know, science, if you remember from the Breaking Bad. By the way, Breaking Bad, really good movie, sorry, a really good series, so, you know, you should definitely check it out. It's really, really good. But stop watching after season 4, because season 5 is crap. But season 4, if you stop watching after season 4, like, it's such a good film movie. On the other hand, if you watch season 5, it's kind of crap. That said, a lot of these guys are talking about April 8th, so definitely something is happening on April 8th. The big question is what? Now, when it comes to April 8th and solar eclipse and stuff like that, when it comes to the stock market, I've been reading that, you know, after the solar eclipses, historically, I think stock markets have gone up in the next year after the solar eclipse around 18%. Around 17-18% like that towards upside. Next 12 months after the solar eclipses, you know, markets have generally gone up 18%. That does not mean that, you know, we are gonna get a big dump. We are not gonna get a big dump on April the 8th and then go towards upside, because, you know, we could definitely do this move down here and then, you know, go towards upside eventually, right? So exactly on the April 8th is gonna be very, very important. Now, we are very familiar with the dates, because, you know, we've been watching dates for a very, very long time. And we have been watching a couple of different dates. Now, what you're gonna see up here, one of the very important dates is the April the 4th. If you remember the April, sorry, not December the 4th, that's this candle over here. This is a 24% dump towards downside. This week towards downside over here. This is the April the 4th. We knew the date. We were watching the date, and you know, it dumped down. Yeah, 21% towards downside. It was 24% on some other exchanges. 21% towards downside. This was dumped. But what you're gonna see up here, we didn't go up here all the way towards top and then dump down. We started already, you know, creeping towards downside over here, and then we dumped, you know, on December the 4th towards downside, right? So just like right now, that's happening right now. We are already slowly, you know, pushing towards downside over here. We are already slowly pushing towards downside up here, so we might go, you know, a couple of more days sideways during this week and then dump towards downside big time. You'll also see, if you go to the weekly time frame, that that there are let me first pull the line over here, the line that we've been watching. This daily trend line over here, it's already broken. The daily trend line is already broken right now. We're still below the trend over here. Regardless of how you draw this trend over here, there is no way you can actually draw this where we actually are, you know, above the line, so it doesn't matter how you draw this trend line on the daily time frame. We are already below that, which is actually quite bad. The fact that we are also having this, you know, this green candle up here failing to come right back up there again as well, it's also bad, right? But when you look at it on the weekly time frame over here, on the weekly time frame, then we draw it something like this over here, and we are technically above it. You know, we technically, you know, on the weekly time frame above it, but we still have something like 3 days left. So if we pull down a little bit more over here towards downside up here during the week, we can expect on Monday, April the 8th, a bigger dump towards downside. Now, how bigger dump that's gonna be, that kind of depends. Now, I am not very, you know, I am bearish because of the date, but you know, just because we had the, you know, we got a couple of dates right, like over here on December the 4th, we got the date very correctly. Also the November 22nd up here, this is November 22nd because this is weekly time frame, so this is says 21st, but this is also November 22nd. We got November 22nd very correctly as well. That was the bottom of the market, right? We also got this big dump towards downside because over here there were, you know, 3 super moons down here. We said, you know, this is gonna be the bottom up here because of the super moons and stuff like that, if you remember. Like, a lot of dates we got correct, right? Now, there was one date where we did not get correct. It was important date, but yeah, we did not get correct, you know, movement towards upside downside. So, you know, we know the dates, but we don't know what's gonna happen on the dates, right? So over here there was a 14 October up here. This is the 14 October, as you can see up here, and we, you know, we are thinking that, you know, 14 October might actually dump us towards downside, but it didn't. It actually pumped us, you know, big time towards upside. So we know the dates. The dates are very important. You know, the direction when we come to those levels, it's very shady and difficult to predict what's gonna happen. Now, there is a bullish, you know, bullish reason why we should actually go towards upside and not actually dump at all towards downside. And the reason for that is Fractal is actually right now playing out. So let me show you this over here. Let me just find the I did post the Fractal. I'm just gonna show you the picture so I don't have to, you know, show the charts up here. Let's show the bottom down here. This was actually March 27, them Fractals. This chart over here, this is S&P 500 on the monthly time frame. Which you can see up here, it has this kind of same kind of, you know, pattern that we are having right now on the daily time frame on Bitcoin. So, you know, big impulsive move towards upside. There is an expanding musical instrument over here towards downside. Up here we create some kind of bottom, we go towards upside. This is this move towards upside. Then we pull back down here to some kind of support levels. Right now we are expecting this move towards downside, and as you can see up here, the same move towards downside did happen. So if this fractal right now is gonna play out, we are expecting this big pump towards the upside. Now everything is down by a bunch, so you know, if Bitcoin should dump down something like 10% towards downside, altcoins will literally die. As you see over here, altcoins will, you know, if we dump more towards downside, altcoins literally dies, regardless of what kind of altcoin you're looking at. I mean the dumps are gonna be just you know very heavy towards downside. I'm just, you know, pressing random buttons up here. You can see up here very major level of support up here. So if you do dump down, there will be, you know, a reckoning on altcoins if you do, for whatever reason, should dump towards downside over here. Now there are definitely, if you look at our weekly time frame, there are definitely, you know, very nice support levels that are being held on altcoins as well. So I'm still, you know, over here, this is one up here, you can see up here, it's just pulling back to the support level. But if it should dump down, it should, you know, break a lot of support levels, which might mean that, you know, a lot of people are getting in very cheaply into the market before the next big move towards the upside. Now, I have not seen on X and on YouTube this technical analysis being, you know, overly bearish. So I don't see anybody right now. And I'm trying to, you know, figure out, you know, what other people are thinking as well. I'm not seeing anybody right now thinking that this is, you know, this is the, you know, ending of the bull market and we're just gonna go towards downside for whatever reason. We still got, like we said, Bitcoin halving in 15 days, so 2 more weeks. So people are majorly bullish still. So everybody is right now thinking that this pullback towards the downside is just pre-halving pullback before we actually do after halving pump towards the upside. So what's gonna happen right now, it's a little bit hard to say. Maybe it's gonna play out the way, you know, this S&P 500 played out. Big move towards the upside, expanding musical instrument, a bump up here towards the upside. There is a pullback, and right now we just do this move up here towards the upside. There is very good chance for this move up here to to happen. April the 8th is important date. Unfortunately, again, we don't know what's gonna happen on that. But you know, if the fractal wanna play out, it might just play out. Like we also said down here, there is a very good chance that this is also a support level down here at the bottom right now. We are, as we just saw, we are holding the support level on the weekly time frame over here. On the 4-hourly time frame, if you pop some moving averages up here right now, we are doing this move towards the upside, which is actually very, very normal. But this looks like you know, this looks like, what are you gonna say, bear flag, right? So you go something like this up here, it goes up here towards the upside, fails to break that, and then, you know, dumps towards the downside. So until we are actually outside of this, you know, small channels on the 4-hourly time frame towards the upside, it's not given which direction we're gonna go right now. Let me just clear out the moving averages over here. So when it comes to the small time frames over here, you know, the next moves, what's gonna happen, I wouldn't be looking at this move towards upside just yet. I would you know, consider this channel up here right now that we are going in some kind of bear flag up here. If this bear flag gets invalidated up here towards upside, there is a very good chance for a bigger pumps towards upside. But right now, the way I see it, you can also see up here, you know, 4-hourly 20 moving averages right up there. So if you go up here towards upside, you know, we just might stop and then, you know, move down here towards downside up here. We might actually go a little bit, you know, longer up here inside this, you know, channel up here, break towards downside and wait for the April the 8th and then dump down here somewhere. There is a whole bunch of different ways how this can actually play out, but you know, this channel up here needs to break one side or other side before we actually become more bearish or more bullish towards the upside. So we're gonna check that out once that comes. But we gotta you know, we got support levels. We know where we are right now. So if you go to the weekly time frame, which is very, very important right now, you'll see that we are above the weekly support up here. Now this is a bearish engulfing candle, and bearish engulfing candles are bearish up here. This is a weekly candle, not yet closed just yet, but we are still, you know, way above the 10 moving average and you know, 20 moving average, 50 moving average, 200 moving average down here. We are still above the moving average. We are still in a you know, bigger uptrend up here towards the downside. So everything looks nice and dandy. And like I just said, I failed to find anybody else beside, you know, crypto savvy and capo and all of these, you know, bearish guys to see that, you know, any kind of big move towards the downside is gonna come, right? I haven't seen anybody, you know, of these big YouTubers like MM Crypto or The Moon or Ivan Tech or some other guys taking any kind of profits or anything like that. Not only that, they're even buying more Bitcoin. So, you know, there is that. And I really like to, you know, listen to these guys in Dubai, right? So the guys in Dubai knows stuff. I don't know how they know, but you know, they are billionaires and they're sitting there with other guys and they're either buying or selling, and you know, they talk with each other. So it's good, you know, you can get some kind of sense of what's happening. And right now, you know, this the idea is still, you know, you still buy before the halving kind of stuff, right? So can we have a move towards downside? Definitely can. We are still waiting for how that's gonna play out. But overall, when you look at a big picture over here, we are still looking for more movements towards upside up here. Now we did get a whole bunch of extensions up here towards upside, and somebody mentioned, I think it was Raphael or Wesley, mentioned that this three-month candle up here, if you look at this 3-month candle, there is actually no upper wick towards upside. I mean, this is just candle that just goes down up here. Oftentimes these candles actually have some kind of upper wick up here or something like that towards upside before we actually go down. Right now there is no upper wick towards upside up here, and the theory is that, you know, this is just move down before we do another move towards upside up here again. That said, if you go back in time, I mean a lot back in time, like something like 2014 up here, you'll see that this did, like over here, if you look at the 2021, I mean, there was wick, there were wicks up here, right? But there was one time where there was no wicks. Now on the 3-month time frame, there was still wicks over here, but on monthly time frame, there was one time where we had the top. Where is it? Why is there a wick over here? Am I crazy right now? What have I been watching at? I have picture of it, guys. I swear to you, I'm not blind. So monthly time frame up here, 2000. So this 3 months monthly time frame. Yeah, so monthly time frame. So there was one time up here. This is on BLX. This is on big liquidity index. There was one time where we did not have the top wick up here. Let me check this if this is the true for you know. So this is on Bitstamp. Bitstamp there was wick on the upside. Up here, this is 2050. This is not it. There was always a wick on the upside. There was always a wick on the upside. This is 2018. So there has always been, beside this liquidity index, which doesn't matter, but there has always been a wick on the upside before we come to some kind of top, right? And right now there is literally no wick on the upside. So you know it tells us that at one point we will get back above this 71k level again. Create a wick and then go towards the downside, right? Because right now we just see, just pull back down here. That's both a monthly, 3 months time frame and so forth, so forth. So, that's telling us right now that even up here on the weekly time frame, there is no wick up here. So right now we're just going down. So we are still looking for a move towards upside. Create that wick before we actually go towards the downside. Regardless, again, support levels are pretty much set in stone over here. And we got to go to the weekly time frame over here. That's pretty much set in stone. And now that I just saw this over here, we can actually also talk about the RSI. This is the weekly RSI levels over here. What you're gonna see on the RSI levels, we are actually breaking down the support level down here. So there is that. We are actually breaking down over here towards downside. Now we still got 3 days left to pump from these levels and close above the line up here. So if you want this trend up here to be upheld during this time, we gotta pump. Now this trend is only this part over here, so if you want to continue this move towards upside up here, this trend should not break towards downside over here or anything like that. There is another trend over here on the other side that goes something like this up here. So if you do break towards downside, we might look at for a weekly time frame, weekly time frame support, something like 60 levels before we do another one of these moves towards upside, right? So we might go something like sideways up here, pull this down, and then go towards upside. So it might take a little bit time. We are a little bit unsure, what's gonna happen. We did pump a lot, so there is that. We didn't pump a whole bunch towards upside. Is this a pullback that's gonna just right now crash us towards downside for months? And I'm literally mean for months, because if you look over here on the chart up here, we technically can just pull back down here, consolidate up here until October, and then do another pump towards upside. I mean, there is definitely reasons for that as well, right? Something like this as well. Where is the line over here? Something like this. Let me just remove the moving averages up here for a second and start drawing some nice lines. So regardless how you actually draw this up here, right, these are the levels up here. I mean, you can technically, right, you can go all the way down to 50k, you can do whatever, right? Over here, like there is a whole bunch of space over here that we can actually go sideways right now, and this goes all the way to September this year before we do next move towards upside. So is it this right now, this curvature up here that's gonna come, is we just gonna pull back a little bit up here, create this weekend, and create a stronger pump towards upside? Because there is a whole bunch of ways this can actually play out, right? We can just right now be creating this week towards this pivot point towards downside, create some kind of new line over here towards upside, and just continue pumping up here very, very soon during summer and early fall towards upside. But it can also go very, very much sideways up here for a very, very long time. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to predict what's gonna happen next. But right now, like we just said, like this channel over here towards upside up here, we are looking to see how this is gonna play out. Is this a bear flag right now that's gonna consolidate up here and then dump us down here? I don't know. Regardless, still bullish, still not selling, hodling. There is that. Let's read a little bit more chat right now. Paulo, what's up, man? Other dump incoming. It depends on Bitcoin. When in doubt, zoom out. Watch Clarkson Farm. I don't know what that is. Anna Marie, how you doing? Morning. Robert Emitter, morning. How you doing, man? Welsh, Bitcoin holding strong. It is. Look like base blockchain is booming more meme coins. Yeah, so a lot of people are moving from Solana chain to base chain because Solana got filled with these crappy coins. Remind me of price action early December. Can you look at ordinals? Now, we did look at ordinals last time. I'm not really interested. They're not doing much. They're just consolidating for a very, very long time. These past days were better, TLA. I mean, they were good. They were good. I mean, every single date was good. Every single date was good. So we know that this date is gonna be good. What we don't know is the direction of the date. We gotta figure out how to find that out. Andrew, what's up? Like the likes for good fortune. Exactly. Upside or downside, who knows? Dexman, morning guy. Morning Dexman, how you doing, man? So we did dump, you know, a couple of days ago go over here towards downside. Right now we are still holding the support level the way I see it. So there is that. And even this weekly support is actually holding up here. And if you draw the line up here towards upside, up here, something like that, or maybe above here. I don't think it's this one up here because this bullish engulfing candle, maybe something like this over here towards upside. We are still holding at support. So the support is not broken just yet. There is that. There is liquidity down here that might get picked up. We're going to check out. But, you know, we still got 4 days left. We still got 4 days left and to see what's gonna happen. Now, altcoins have, you know, Bitcoin is not actually down that much. I mean, from the very top to the bottom, it's down 12%. But if you look at altcoins, besides Chili's up here, I mean, Chili's is also down a whole bunch up here towards downside. Like, it was down 30%, right? Chili's were down 30%. CKB is down here from the very top up here right now, you know, 40% towards the downside. Ethereum Classic is down, it was down 32% over here. NEAR is actually doing very well, in fact, very well, but it's still down 30% towards the downside. XLM, we won't go into XRP, but XLM is down something like, you know, 23% up here, but right, it was down like 28% towards the downside down here. Zilliqa up here is suddenly, you know, became very, very bullish, but it did dump, you know, 40% up here from the very top up here, 33% up here. Right now it's down 24%. So a lot of coins are down a whole bunch. You remember down here when we have been doing this move towards downside over here, guys? You remember this move and what we have been saying when we were down at the bottom. If you don't remember, when we had this move towards downside up here in February, a lot of, you know, Bitcoin went sideways over here. And I can show you up here, Bitcoin USDT. Bitcoin went sideways over here. So this is the Bitcoin up here going up to something like, you know, 40K. And it was going sideways over here, pulled back a little bit. This was, you know, 20% dump on Bitcoin. But altcoins went down like 40% towards downside, right? So these big dumps up here. This over here is 32 from the very top. It was something like 35%, but give or take, everything was down like 30 to 40%. Altcoin, you know, Bitcoin went down 20%, give or take, but it was mostly going sideways. And at the same time, altcoins went down 30-40%. At the same time, if you remember, Benjamin Cohen has been talking about, you know, altcoins the reckoning on X, and we've been saying like, how much are they gonna get wrecked, guys? How much are altcoins gonna get wrecked, right? So they are already wrecked like 30-40% towards downside over here. And as we are watching that, you know, it was very obvious for us that, you know, it's gonna go eventually towards upside, and it did. And right now it's kind of the same thing, right? Everybody's looking that Bitcoin is gonna dump, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and whatnot, right? But you gotta understand that, you know, altcoins are already down like 30-40%, right? Like, how much more are you gonna dump down? 90% down? 70%? Like, we are not in the bear market, guys. We are in the bull market. Not just are we in the bull market, we are in the bull market just before the altcoin season starts happening, right? So we are watching this Bitcoin dominance over here right now, and we are still waiting for this move towards downside. It can play towards upside. A lot of people will say it's gonna go towards upside, and I'm not saying that this cannot go towards upside, but we are looking for when this move happens, and we are very, very close. So even if this does pump towards the upside up here very, very fast, it might be just one of these, you know, moves that pumps up. Where is it? Over here, when I'm going towards downside up here, we had one of these big fast moves towards the upside, and after that, like everything, you know, dominance crash towards downside. So over here right now, even if we do go up here towards upside, I'm still looking, you know, fast move towards upside for Bitcoin, and then everything, you know, dominance crash towards downside. And the thing about dominance crashing towards downside over here is that, you know, we are getting the altcoin season. So we are just before the altcoin season, and you know, altcoins are right now down 30-40%. Can they go 50-60%? I mean, they can't technically can, but how much are you gonna wreck altcoins, right? How much? They're already wrecked. Everything is already wrecked. I don't know if you've been following, guys. Like, just like in February, everything is wrecked. Just like in October, everything is wrecked, right? How much can you get wrecked, right? So don't follow Bitcoin and, you know, try to figure out what altcoins are gonna do, you know, based on Bitcoin, because, you know, as soon as Bitcoin stops out and starts consolidating, altcoins have been starting dropping down. And right now, altcoins are down 30-40% again for like third time in a row. And you know, how much are they gonna get wrecked, guys? How much are they gonna get wrecked? Bitcoin Cash halving happened today. Some Genesis blockers, Bitcoin, same 21 minutes plus, some halvings. Yeah, so Bitcoin Cash right now, BTC, I don't know what's Bitcoin Cash, BCH. It's up 28% right now. You can see up here, it is just pumping towards the upside. I mean, Bitcoin Cash is, did well since the bottom. It's outperforming Bitcoin when it comes to, from the bottom towards the top up here. And this last move up here has been, 200% move towards the upside. So it's definitely going towards the upside. And I know a guy who has a whole bunch of these things. I mean, technically a lot of Bitcoin maxis have a lot of Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork of Bitcoin. So there is that. So whoever had held the cash before, they are having a lot of cash in Bitcoin Cash. So there is that. Now, whether this is gonna play out or not, I don't know. But Bitcoin Cash, I'm not really big fan of that. Now it is pumping, but you can also see up here, it has this bottom down here at $200, and right now the next bottom here is $80. So these bottoms are actually going towards downside, which I don't actually see right now Bitcoin Cash being something stupidly bullish, or I think it's gonna go maybe a little bit more towards upside. It's gonna stop up here, everything is gonna explode towards upside, and eventually it's gonna just go down. I don't see Bitcoin Cash going above all-time high up here. That might be just me, but there is that. But the biggest reason for that is because previous bottom up here right now, and right now the bottom down here is going towards downside. That's actually a very, very bad sign, and the same bad sign you can see on EOS up here. That's why I'm not very bullish on EOS, because the bottoms from the $2 up here went all the way down to $0.5 towards downside. Any kind of coin that has this bottom to bottom going towards downside is actually in my view a bad coin. So there is that, right? So Bitcoin Cash, yes, it's pumping, it's up 6%, sorry, 6x, but everything pumps. Like there is Luna Classic pumping like 10x or whatever, right? I don't know how much Luna, what is it, Luna or Luna Classic? I don't know what's gonna happen, right? But you can see up here, it dumped down up here. People are still trading this over here. People are still trading, and if you see here from the bottom towards top down here, right? The pump went like 300%, right? 4x. In what kind of market can something that's dead go up, 4x? Besides crypto. What do you think of the fact that Bitcoin has never had 8 green months in a row, plus the RSI was over 90 on the monthly? Let's check that out. I'm a little bit unsure whether you are correct on that. Let's go to the monthly time frame and start counting up here. Let's go to this chart over here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is not 8, that is 7 green candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 monthly candles up here. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Do we have any kind of more up here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles over here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. No. Let's go a little bit more back up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Over here there was one time where he had actually 7 candles, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 monthly candles towards the upside. Now, 7 monthly candles is also big, but we can, like Martin would say, we can get more green candles. We can definitely get more green candles. So there is that. Why not 8? Why not 9? Why not make this, the historically, largest, biggest, fattest, best pump ever in the history of pumps? Astrologically, April will be huge. I don't know about that. By the way, let me just check out the RSI. RSI didn't come to 90 on the monthly time frame. It came up to 76. So I don't know where you are getting your RSI stuff from. Or where you are getting your information from, but it's pretty much wrong, right? The 90 is all the way up here, and we are right now not even close to the 90 levels up here. I mean, we are just up here. That's also one of the reasons why we think that we still need to go towards upside, because these levels up here are not even tapped up here very, very closely. And over here was 77 up here on the monthly on Bybit. On Binance is 76 or something like that, right? Over here 76, give or take, right? But we are definitely not 90. I mean, if there was 90 RSI on the monthly time frame, it will be pretty much over. Bitcoin is maybe trying to break the alt charts on their Bitcoin pair, What is your alpha on the April astrology? Good. Debuting, I watched the astrology podcast. So Gort has gone full into astrology. That's good, man. That's good. You're gonna make it. Anyways, guys, we're gonna end it over here. Thank you for watching the Bitcoin Daily. This is also another chart that we have broken towards downside up here. We are still again holding the support level, and we are just right now, you know, going towards downside. I still hope that, you know, the fractal from the S&P 500 will play out. But again, we gotta wait a little bit and see where is the support chart. That is this one over here. So we're still on the support. We're still waiting for this move up here to see how this is gonna play out. Most important part up here is this, you know, channel right now, and you know, short term, this is the channel that you should be looking at, following, seeing what's gonna play out. You know, if we're gonna break this towards up, if we break this towards upside, you might expect a bigger pump up here. So that is that. I'm late. We'll watch reply. You're welcome to do that. Batch, guys. Again, thank you for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Don't believe the FUD, but remember the date. I'll see you around. Bye bye. Where is my outro?